There's a golf cart coming as soon as I press go live. Oh my goodness. And I don't want it to be too loud. But anyways, I want to talk about marketing your business on social media specifically. And that it takes a lot of energy. Like, I really do believe the bigger the money goal, the more energy it's going to take, not just from a marketing standpoint, but you holding that money, you managing that money. A lot of times there's some sort of fulfillment when it comes to what you sell, and follow up of some sort, depending on like what you're selling, team management, right? All of the things. And so too often when it comes to specifically like the marketing strategy, we're like, we need strategy. I need to be on TikTok. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on YouTube. Like, I need to learn reels. I need to be more consistent in stories. I need to ask more. And like all of these things are so valid. And like, if you were to bundle them all up, it takes energy. And so the main part of your marketing strategy, instead of the tactics, because the tactics, once you have the energy, will be actually fairly easy. And you'll be surprised that like you'll be way more effective if you go deeper in your marketing versus wider. And I can explain what that means. But like at the end of the day, you've got to have the energy. So your main part of your marketing strategy really gets to be, how do you and your marketing team have the energy, right? Like, how do you create the energy that you need to hit your goals? Because if you don't have the energy, none of the tactics, none of the overall like sales and marketing strategy will fully work, because that's when like typically like burnout happens, the stopping and starting of your strategy. And so energy management is absolutely imperative. And there's so many easy things that we can do, like walking, sleep, protein, water, right? Who you're surrounded by, getting ahead, staying organized. Like, there's so many things that you absolutely know, help boost your energy, which will boost your business, which will boost your marketing, right? It'll make everything feel so much easier, because you actually have the brain power to do all the things that you need to do. And even more than the brain power, you have the brain clarity, because you're taking care of yourself. Can you still market your business and be exhausted? Absolutely. I feel like most business owners have been there many times. But when you've been there and you've also been in like flow and enjoyment and ease, you don't want to be in exhaustion. You want to be in full flow, full enjoyment. And it really is an intentional choice. The more and more I pay attention to my energy, like my natural energy, and really tap into how can I work with my natural energy, it's been so much easier. I have noticed a trend on Saturdays specifically that like my brain and body just need lots of rest, like as much rest as I possibly can have on Saturdays. And so I'm very, very low key on Saturdays, and I don't expect a lot of myself on Saturdays. It's kind of like my one day that I'm like, okay, let's just recharge. And I think I've honestly been training my brain to work with that now, because I've paid attention to it. And then Sundays, since I've had that like more recharge days, I have found that Sundays I'm like, it's a new week, let's go, let's do all the things. I like love to set up my week for success, like prep. And so like even during the week, I've noticed different highs and lows and have been able to plug into all of that, especially when it comes to marketing my business. And so it's just something that I don't think is talked about enough. And the more we pay attention to your energy and increase your energy, and also when you need to like, sometimes increasing your energy means slowing down even for a hot second, so then that you can speed up. and it be more natural and not forced, it's huge. It's so, so powerful. I've also found, like, in addition to like who I surround myself with, like stopping and just having gratitude has been a huge energy boost for me. I've been giving. I made an announcement in May that I'm going on like $1 million giving spree. And like ever since that moment, I have just felt significantly different. And I've been giving and trusting and stepping into abundance in so many different ways. And it's wild how different I feel since that moment. And it's something that, like, it was just pure and intentional and like not planned, but just I went with it. Like intuitively, it was like, this is what you get to do, and you get to talk about it and step into it and grow. And it's just been life-changing since that moment. That was like mid-May when that happened, and now we're in mid-July, so it's been like 60 days. And just, again, like paying attention to my natural energy and not shaming myself, and just being like, okay, like I'm noticing a trend on Saturdays, I'm noticing a trend on Wednesdays, I'm noticing a trend on Fridays. Like I can plug and play into all of that, and it set up so much more ease and success, because I'm not, swimming upstream. I'm literally going with the flow. And everyone is different. And if you're a female, your hormones play a huge part in that. And so even tapping into that it's been huge. And everything is just flowing and going and feeling so much better. Like I noticed, like in February, March, and April were like mentally like really rocky. May was super steady. June was a little rocky, if I'm being honest. But like through the turbulence, I have noticed July specifically, I am significantly internally different. It's hard to put my finger on it, but it was almost like I had to navigate the turbulence and face it head on. And like, this is a part of the naked method that I talk a lot about, of just like, working through past mindset blocks, past patterns, and just doing it with love and not shaming myself. And so like the first half of the year, there were definitely a lot of turbulent moments. But like a lot when you're on a plane, like the pilot like warns you that there's going to be some turbulence. It's not going to last forever. They kind of keep you updated, right? And so even heading into July, I've just felt so much deep confidence in myself of like, you've got this, like you've totally got this. And I've just noticed, like I've even been working on this with my 6-year-old Emma. Like she'll get really upset really quickly. And I tell her, I'm like, you're absolutely allowed to be upset. I'm not going to like tell you how to feel. Also, let me like provide a different point of view for you of like, getting upset isn't going to change the situation. And I can see like her wheels turning. Like I've been working on this with her for a while now, because she gets so frustrated so fast. And then obviously when you're getting so frustrated so fast, it can be a huge energy drain, like to yourself, right? And so I've been working on this with her. I'm like, getting upset doesn't change the situation, right? Like, yes, feel your feelings, but also like, don't drain your energy in the process, because in my eyes, like, then it's consuming you even more than it has to. And so it's like, we can feel our feelings in a very productive way, and it not consume us, not take over, not go deeper, right? Like we can absolutely acknowledge like, ooh, that frustrated me, or ooh, that didn't go as I wanted to, but like stay more neutral in the feelings. And so I've just been navigating through that myself. So it's like our children are always a mirror of us. And so I've been really proud of like how I've navigated some situations and just stayed super neutral. And all of these things are just so important when it even comes to your marketing, because your life is going to have ups and downs. So we also want to think about that in your marketing. Like, how are you getting ahead so that way, even when life is having some challenging moments, your business doesn't take a back seat. This is why I'm obsessed with content creation, getting ahead, also having some support, repurposing your content, having automations, because life is never going to not life. And so we want to think about your marketing strategy from that standpoint too, of making sure that even when life is having its moments, that you can still take care of you, but your business doesn't have to take a backseat. It always hurts my heart when I hear people being like, oh, this is happening, so my business has been put on hold. And I'm just like, no, like there's such another way. Like I never say that in that moment because it's not appropriate in that moment, but my heart does hurt because I have been in those shoes. And also now I've been on the other side where I'm like, oh my gosh, like set up your automations, get your content creation dialed in. Like, if I needed to be off of social media for an extended amount of time, the team has so much content that they could reproduce. They've built established relationships with who we work with. A lot of times they're the ones leading those projects, even leading our students. Like, yes, I'm a big part of it, but I'm not the only part. And that's been very intentional for the good times and the challenging times, because we never know. I have never named my business my name for many reasons. One being, it's an insurance policy. It's a legacy policy. Like, I got that advice from the very beginning, and I'm like, it's never been my name. Even through multiple rebrands, I've never even thought about naming it my name. I've always wanted it to be bigger than myself. And it has always felt so much better it being bigger than myself. And it allows so much more expansion so that, even though I am a big part of it, I'm not the only part. And we're intentionally adding in more voices, more names, more thought leaders, and that is on purpose. And like, there's a whole plan that I'm continuing to roll out in real time with that. So it's like marketing, no matter where social media goes, marketing is not going anywhere. It's only becoming more and more important to master being a really good marketer. And it's something that I've mastered for 17 years and continue to do. Like, I'm always going to be a student first and foremost. But like, even as recently as this year, the biggest things for me are taking care of myself, getting ahead in my content, adding in more and more automations, and mini launches, meaning like little launches. I used to be the girl that did these big, oh my gosh, so big launches, like months in the making, months to actually launch, then 6 months to a year of fulfilling after that launch. And they had lots of success. And also, holy smokes, so much energy those launches took. And it was never guaranteed that they would be big launches. And so there was a lot of nervous system regulation through those huge launches, because no one can predict, even the most successful people, no one can predict the results until the results are in, right? And so I have taken a different approach, especially in this just season of life with 2 young children, that I'm like, that does not at all feel good to me. So I'm going to be teaching on this. So this is like a little preview. But I've been taking the approach of little baby launches. Like, we're talking days, right? Like I decide and then I move, and then they're like a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week tops. And like this is all said and done. Like they're going so quickly and so easily, and it's always rotating, and it feels incredible. It's working. It feels incredible. It's something that I don't think is talked about. Like, I don't want to say at all, because that's just assuming that it's not being talked about. But, you know, you hear about these big launches, and I just want to take a different approach with people, because most people can't do that, right? Like, it's just too much. And I've been there. So I want to come and teach on this methodology because it's so fun, it's so quick, and no matter what, the beautiful part about mini launches is that you're going to get so good at launching so quickly because they're so fast. So no matter how they go, it's like you're winning no matter what, and they don't drain your energy. They really like invigorate your energy no matter what the results are. Like, you learn, you're practicing, they go so fast, like before you know it, it's complete, and it was easy and fun. And then, you know, it's just icing on the cake with like the sales coming in. And so it's just been something that I have been implementing and mastering, and I'm getting really close to being ready to teach it because it's so freaking powerful. And I think the biggest thing that I am seeing with women especially is we are not asking enough. We're not inviting people to work with us enough. Like, we assume that people know that they can work with us, but I can guarantee you most of your audience does not know how they specifically can work with you. And when they are so exhausted in their own life, they don't have the mental bandwidth to try to figure it out. So when you're constantly doing a mini launch of different things, one of those times that person is going to get so warmed up so fast that they're going to be like, this is the one, like whatever it may be. Like, they're going to be like, I want in, this feels amazing, right? And then it's such a great win-win even for the person that you're supporting, because the philosophy of a mini launch is that like it's quick for the other person, right? It's not long and dragged out. It's quick for them too, depending on what it is. But like, I've done mini launches for 25-minute calls. I've done mini launches for content banks. I've done mini launches for, what else have I done mini launches for? Our scholarship. I've done many launches for sponsorship, right? Like, and so it's just been so fun and simple and easy and effective for everyone involved. Like, there's not this huge webinar that people need to attend. There's not this long ass sales page that no one's going to read. There's not a bunch of sales calls. Like, it's the holy grail for busy women, on both sides, whether you're the buyer or the seller, because the world is moving so fast. And so, you know, do long sales pages work? Everything works, right? Like, do webinars work? For sure. But I think for most people that most people are marketing to, they're not the most effective. I think there's better strategies working for who you're most likely trying to serve and support. And so I've just been tapping into that and trying different ways and getting such amazing positive feedback, and it's working, right? Like, if there's an easier way for you to make money, don't you want to do it? Like, that was just my philosophy a year ago. I was like, let me take all the pressure off. Let me find my voice. Let me rebrand my offers and my business and like me personally, and start taking care of me. And like, it's been like a year in the making, but it is like, I wouldn't regret it. I don't regret it at all, because all of this takes so much energy, and like the things that are finally coming to fruition, I have the energy to hold them. And so if we're not where we want to be from like a goal perspective, I think it's such an invitation to look inward of like, well, maybe like delayed results are protection for you. because if you don't have the energy to hold hundreds of students or, hundreds of clients right now, but yet you want them and you're frustrated that you don't have them, like, it could be protection. So that's why this energy conversation is so important, because when you're ready for the flood of clients or students energetically, it opens up, like, this is where I'm going to get a little woo-woo, but it opens up the portal for possibility that it's like, oh no, she's ready now, right? Like, the universe doesn't want you to fail. And so it can get really frustrating when you're not where you want to be, but yet in order to be where you want to be, you need to become a better version of yourself. So it's such a slippery slope, because it's like, well, which one comes first? Do I get the thing, then I become the person? No, it's become the person that you need to become to hold, not even have, but to hold the things that you want to hold. It's so important. Like, I even remember, like, I've wanted to be a mom for so long. I think a lot of women can relate to that. But, like, there was things that I needed to work through. Like, I went through some deep emotional intelligence workshops. And I wish I had, like, a video camera of this moment, because I can see it in my head, but sometimes the most pure moments, that's all you have. But there was one emotional intelligence program that I went through, and I, like, to my small group, because it was all in person, to my small group, there was a lot of crying through that process and a lot of healing in that program. And I remember looking at my small group, because we all, like, were declaring big things. And typically I'm always the person that's declaring big business things. But that program, I was like, I'm ready to be a mom. And I, like, was just crying and crying and crying and crying. And I think, like, 2-3 months later, I became pregnant. That's not an accident. Like, that's not an accident. Well before that, I was married. We've been together for so long. Like, I could have easily, gotten pregnant before that. But, energetically, I was ready, and I declared it, and it happened. And that's not always the case for everything that, we want, especially having babies. I know that can be challenging for so many people. But that's just, like, one personal example for me of, like, I wanted to be a mom so long before that, but would I have been ready, right? Like, would I have been as ready as I was? And so just going into motherhood with just such a stronger foundation did help me be a stronger mom, for sure. And so we just get to look at those types of scenarios in our marketing and in our business of, like, what do you need to do? Who do you need to become energetically for you to have the things that you want to have? Like, I've had a lot of success over all the years, but, like, honestly, I am mentally stronger than I've ever been, and I can completely attribute it to healthy habits done consistently. Like, I don't think there's ever been a 30-day span that I've gotten 10,000 steps in every single day. My water is up. Like, it creates this domino effect. Like, I can feel like my core is so strong by literally walking. Sometimes when I'm walking, I'll take notes on my phone. I will telegram my clients. Like, it's been the easiest, most simple thing that has created such a massive energetic ripple effect to not just my health, but to, like, my mental clarity, my business, and so many other facets of my life. And so it's just such an invitation that, like, we are the CEO of our life and our business. So the more we energetically take care of us, marketing will be easier, sales will be easier, offer creation will be easier, your relationships in your personal life will be easier, challenges in your business will be easier. Like, there's nothing that can stop you when you are mentally strong. Like, your mental fitness is the holy grail of success. Like, your mental fitness, and I do believe like your emotional fitness is tied to that for sure, but like your mental fitness is the holy grail of the holy grails. And I do believe mental fitness stems so much from the energy, right? Like, having the energy to become mentally fit is huge. And there's just so much that we can do. A lot of it is easy and free, but it comes down to like the choice of doing it consistently. Like, I woke up on July 1st and I was just like, you know what? It's time to raise my standards. Like, I can walk 10,000 steps a day. Like, why am I not tracking that? Why? Like, I just called myself forward, and not in a shameful way, but it was just like fired up energy, and I didn't want to wait. Like, I was like, today's the day. Like, today's the day. It starts today. Let's go. And I can tell you, just even in 13 days, wow. Like, 13 days, that like changing your life in 13 days or less is like, it's so exciting, right? Like, it doesn't have to take long. It doesn't have to be hard, but there is energy and effort and consistency involved. And like, when we can tap into those things, we're unstoppable. Like, this is only going to get stronger. I'm only going to get better. I'm only going to inspire more people, including myself. Like, I'm noticing my clients and students like raising their standards. Do I think I'm a part of that? Of course I am. I'm not the only part, but I at least think I'm a small part of it, because I'm very transparent, and sharing things with them. I invite people to join me and level up with me. And so I just think it's just so important to make sure who we're surrounding ourselves with is inviting us, motivating us, inspiring us to raise our standards, because it is life-changing. It's life-changing. And, you know, money is great, but money comes and goes. It's who you become that is the most delicious part of this whole thing. And that will only continue to like reap more and more rewards for you the more you stick with it. And like, the interesting part is like, you're stuck with you for the rest of your life. So we might as well have like the most strong mental fitness, the best view of how you view yourself, you being happy, you being as energetic as you possibly can, like you knowing how to like navigate challenges, right? Like you feeling sexy and amazing and like worthy, and like I could go on and on and on. Like, you're stuck with you for the rest of your life, whether you have a business or not, whether you change businesses or not, whether you have kids or no kids, or when those kids grow up. So it's like, you are stuck with you. We might as well make it the best love story ever, and like you enjoying yourself, because when you enjoy yourself, you enjoy other people. So think about one way that you can become stronger today, more energetic, and watch the magic happen. Like, truly, watch the magic happen, whether it's 10,000 steps, drinking more water. I actually want it to have nothing to do with marketing and everything to do with you, because it's so easy to hide behind the marketing, but if you don't have the energy to do the marketing's not going to stick, or it's going to be much harder for it to stick. So I want it to be something specific to you, and watch the magic happen so freaking fast. You got to keep doing it, but like, it doesn't have to take long. It can go so incredibly fast. And if you want some extra accountability, share in the DMs with me. If you're like, okay, Nelly, I'm going to do 10,000 steps. And I found for my brain, I needed to say 10,000 steps for the month, like 10,000 steps a day for the month of July. That helped me, because I have found if I say it's like forever, my brain already like goes in freak out mode, because it's like, well, what if you can't do it forever, right? So now that I'm 13 days in, I'm like, okay, now I want to do this longer. So my vision moving forward is just to keep recommitting month after month, so it doesn't feel long and overwhelming. And Like, I was even thinking today when I started this walk, I was like, okay, like, the weather's nice right now, but like, what am I going to do in January? And I was like, ooh, I can totally walk around the house. Like, I could get a gym membership if I needed to. Like, I was already problem solving for like months ahead, which is really cute. Like, our brains do that all the time. So share with me in the DMs what you're going to do, and just commit for 30 days. Watch the magic happen. Watch it happen. It's so good. I believe in you.